Good evening, I hope everyone's well today. Thank you for watching. Operation Hoist the Colours, or Raise the Colours, is gaining traction all over this United Kingdom. I'm very, very impressed by the Lions, the Patriots, the people that want to preserve our culture and our way of life, flying the flag and reasserting ownership, authorship, and authority over our own country. And it's a joy to behold, and long may it continue. Obviously, officially, I can't condone civil disobedience. Unofficially, well, the writing's on the wall. I've got a flag behind me. I'll fly my flags, and I won't apologise. They say picture paints 1,000 words. This is from a protest over the weekend. This was down in Portsmouth. Patriots, sometimes standing alone against the paid-for shills from the trade unions, the stand-up to racism mob, that are all highly organised, but they're not very disciplined. And one thing the migrant hotel protest has proven is that they are spread rather thin, and it's quite funny. So I think the first thing I need to do is go through a few shows of this patriotism over the country. It's not just confined to the big cities. It did start in the big cities, but it is spreading all over the country. We've got this one, first of all. They're going to take our flag down, people! They're going to take our flag down! So this is the Patriots down at a hotel in Southampton. They put up a flag of St George, and now they're chanting, "Whose streets are streets?" Nothing to see here but the British Lion awakening, which is great. So that's the first clip I wanted to show you. And now the next one I'm going to show you is... So they're now planting the St George's flags on roundabouts, which again is great to see. Absolutely wonderful to see. Let me look at this one here. Let's just see. This is down in Tower Hamlets, a captured part of the capital city, now run by ethnic minorities and a majority ethnic minority population comparative to the rest of the United Kingdom. They've been taking down Palestine flags and putting up English and British flags in their place. But that didn't last long because the mayor of Tower Hamlets, yeah, that's right, boroughs in London have their own mayors, decided to order with council workers have been ordered to tear down the flags. This is sickening because they weren't ordered to take down the Palestine flags, so you can fly the flags of other nations, just not your own. That's according to the leaders at Tower Hamlets Council. But if you think that's going to deter people, I think you're wrong. But I think we need to look at this guy from Tower Hamlets, the mayor, and see what it looks like and see what his background is. Alright, okay. Tower Hamlets mayor, Lutfer Raham, guilty of corruption and illegal practices over election. Election Commissioner declares East mayoral election result void after Britain's first elected Muslim mayor found guilty of probably election interference. But that tells you a lot of what is running London nowadays. But it doesn't matter if they tear down the flags because they are going to be replaced, which is what's been happening. Those flags were taken down in Birmingham or near Birmingham over the weekend, and they've already been placed back, and I think it's going to continue and continue, which is a joy to behold. We want to return to a sense of patriotism and pride that we had in the country. I mean, look at this image from the 1950s. Wondrous. No foreign flags. We have a nice British flag and probably some St. George's flags as well. This is what's happening, and the quiet patriotism of the English, yes, but of the entire British population, natively speaking, has been awoken and is going to continue. Now, the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer came out and he has done a. Some people are falling for it and saying that Keir Starmer's got something right. No, don't give him any credit. He's not got anything right. He said officially he can support flying the British flag and the England flag as he'd done when the Lionesses were playing or during the World Cup or the Euros last year. That's perfectly fine. That's a sanctioned use of the English and British flag. This isn't somebody putting a flag up on a lamppost. He's not said that that's okay, which gives his Labour-led councils leg room to actually manoeuvre. So there's some commentators saying that Keir Starmer's got things right here. No, he's not. Typical politician, typical political answer. He's fine for sanctioned official uses of the English and British flag. That's all he's agreed to. That's all he said. I want to be clear. There's a nefarious plot to undermine the Western civilization. And it starts by denigrating the flag, and then your traditions, then your culture. And I'm going to play this clip now. This is from an Irish commentator from the Republic, I believe. And I think it sums up nicely. There is always an ulterior motive. There is always an agenda with the government and the elites, especially the globalists that are running us now. So I'm going to play this clip. Make up your own minds and comment below after the video.
Narratives that the media in general in the West like to push, and you can sort of change it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't talk tonight. You can change it for the country, but it's the same thing. So yeah, the thing is that people. Well, I think my theory is the trashing of the Catholic Church. Okay. It's bigger, right? You might be an atheist or, whatever, a Protestant or whatever. Well, I don't care. That doesn't matter to me. They were evil. No. Because the Catholic Church was so integral to the Irish state after independence, okay, it's no coincidence. This is sort of separate. This is the trashing of the historic narrative.
Exactly. This is exactly what it is when they come after the flag and they come after your traditions and culture. They want to change the narrative. For example, World War II was won by the British. That is the narrative. British and her allies, the British Empire. We won the narrative and paid for it heavily with the debt on Lend-Lease loans to the United States, who came in at the 11th hour after the bombing of Pearl Harbor. They got rich on the debt that we had to pay back. So they got paid, they got compensated and become the dominant global power that we know today. Germany got its war debts forgiven. And we were saddled with debt. So we won the narrative. However, we paid for that narrative dearly with our treasure. Who got the shitty end of the stick in the deal there? The British, the Germans, or the Americans? I think Britain got the shitty end of the stick, to be honest. Out of all three nations, we got the bum deal. So that's the first thing, and now they want to tear down that narrative and say it doesn't really matter because your country is quite crap anyway.
Okay, I'm sure there's a French equivalent and a Spanish equivalent. The British equivalent, sorry to go back to, is the colonialists. We were colonialists and we were evil.
I've never bought into that narrative and I never will. There were millions of white people that were sold into the slave trade by Barbary pirates from Cornwall and other places around the country. And why is it specifically only the white man that has to atone for sins of empire? No other countries have to do it. The Ottoman Empire and other empires, I think there was a Bengal Empire, and other empires that didn't have the white man. It's only the British, it's only us that are meant to feel guilty about it. So I dismiss that wholesale. If one empire was bad, they were all bad. If no empire was bad, then we weren't bad either. You can't cherry pick and choose. And this is what the wokists and the globalists want to do. They want to tear down your country. They don't want to sanction any what's the phrase I'm looking for? Unofficial shows of patriotism. There we go, got my words out eventually. They want to stamp that out. But the British line, the British Patriots have awoken, and that's not going to happen anymore.
Okay, but if you look at the both countries, so for instance, they'll come after the flag. So Emily Thornby, who's an MP, went after St. George's flag 10 years ago, and some radio news talk, I think, said, is the tricolour now a symbol of the far right over here? Okay, so again, the trends are the same. They will come after important historic buildings. So they want to, well, someone writes a piece saying we should tear down Nelson's Column in Trafalgar Square, and some Irish people might be like, well, yeah, they absolutely should. No, because after that, then they say, well, we're gonna sort of downgrade the GPO, and actually we might stick a Nike flagship store in there or a Costa Coffee.
I would add something else onto the back of that. You may say, well, tear down Nelson's Column, what's the issue? Well, tomorrow it could be something that you care about. The day after it might be something that you care about. And this is why even giving them an inch is not wise. One day it'll be something that you do care about, and the people that you count on to back you up won't be there because you weren't there for them. It's about showing unity.
Okay, because your history isn't good enough. And then they'll say that, the landscape isn't good enough. It's just a constant chipping away at European national identity. To say that, to be honest, you're not great. And this is different now to say taking an historical critical eye. That I don't mind and looking, for ways to improve. It's far more insidious than that. And then once they completely undermine you and say, well, yeah, your father was crap, and your aunt who was a nun was crap, and your great grand uncle who was a priest, he was probably a child abuser. Then they sort of beaten you down so much. Then again, as I said, well, they've got a lot of other people in there to replace you.
So there you have it. That's the plan. So you need to remember the two-pronged approach here. You've not only got to win over people that aren't already on board with what we are trying to achieve. You've got to win them over. You've also got to be aware of the enemy and who we're actually fighting here. The globalists have an agenda: no borders, no nation state, no flag. That's their agenda. They want to denigrate your history. They want to denigrate your sense of identity and national pride. And once they've done that, it's far easier to subvert you and to substitute you for somebody that's not got your culture, your values, and is going to be here to take. Now, these are my views. Your mileage may vary as always. What I would say is it's important to fly the flags. It's important to continue the pressure. We will win this in the end. You need to remember, and you need to be steadfast, unwavering, and unyielding to any calls to submit. Like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. You have a good day and take it easy, alright?